The birth of a funnel. Every tornado starts with a powerful thunderstorm, usually a supercell. These storms are monsters themselves, with rotating updrafts called mesocyclones. A mesocyclone forms when warm, moist air from the Gulf meets cooler, drier air from higher altitudes. Add strong wind shear winds blowing at different speeds and directions at different heights, and the atmosphere begins to twist. That twisting column stretches and narrows like a skater pulling their arms in to spin faster. Eventually, the rotation becomes so tight and violent that it dips down from the storm cloud, forming a funnel. From the outside, we see a dark cone or rope touching the earth. But inside, this is a hyperfast column of spiraling air with extremely low pressure at its core. In seconds, what was just a storm becomes one of the deadliest forces on Earth. The pressure drop. The first thing that defines the inside of a tornado is air pressure. Normal sea level pressure is about 1,013 millibars. Inside a strong tornado, pressure can drop over 100 millibars lower than the air around it. That's the kind of change you'd normally feel only if you were suddenly teleported to the top of a 3,000-meter mountain. This drop is so dramatic that it can make buildings literally explode outward. That's why tornado safety experts always say, don't open your windows to equalize the pressure. The damage comes from the wind, not from your windows. Survivors often recall their ears popping painfully, like being in an airplane that descends too fast. In fact, one survivor of the 1999 Bridge Creek Moore EF5 tornado in Oklahoma described the feeling of air being sucked out of my lungs as the funnel passed directly overhead. The pressure drop is one of the scariest invisible forces inside a tornado. Your body can feel it instantly, even if you can't see it. The winds of destruction. While the pressure drop is strange, it's the winds that make tornadoes deadly. Inside the funnel, winds can range from 65 miles per hour in the weakest EF0 tornadoes to over 200 miles per hour in EF5 giants. That's faster than most Formula One race cars and equivalent to the strongest hurricanes on Earth. But unlike a hurricane's smoother, circular winds, tornado winds are chaotic and violent. They surge upward and inward, pulling debris with them like a giant vacuum. Scientists have found suction vortices, miniature tornadoes inside the main funnel, that concentrate this power even more. These tiny swirls can carve narrow paths of destruction where homes are obliterated next to houses left standing. The edge of the funnel is usually the deadliest zone, where the rotating winds whip with maximum force. In the very center, wind speed may drop slightly, but it's far from calm. You wouldn't find peace there, just a less violent pocket inside a storm of destruction. The core flow region, scientists call the middle of a tornado the core flow region. Unlike the calm eye of a hurricane, the tornado's core is a turbulent column filled with dirt, dust, shattered glass, wooden beams, and anything else it has ripped from the earth. If you were unlucky enough to stand inside, you wouldn't see open skies or sunlight. You'd be engulfed in a choking, spinning cloud of debris. You'd feel rocks, wood splinters, and metal whipping past at deadly speeds. The winds wouldn't simply circle you. They'd suck upward, dragging everything higher into the funnel. Some reports from survivors give us a chilling picture. In 1925, during the Tri-State tornado, the deadliest in U.S. history, survivors described being picked up and spun through darkness so thick they couldn't breathe. Others said the inside of the funnel felt like a black wall moving in every direction at once. That's the reality of the core flow. No calm eye, no open space, just chaos and destruction. Flying debris, the real killer. Here's a terrifying truth. Most tornado deaths aren't caused by the wind directly. They're caused by flying debris. A 2x4, a roof shingle, or even a spoon can become a deadly projectile when hurled at 150 miles per hour. Inside the funnel, debris doesn't just fly around, it spirals upward, sometimes thousands of feet into the air, and can be carried miles away. After the 2011 Joplin, Missouri EF5 tornado, investigators found family photos 80 miles from their homes. Cows, cars, and even sections of houses were discovered miles from where they started. For people trapped inside, debris makes survival almost impossible. You're not just battling wind, you're standing inside a high-speed blender filled with everything the tornado has already destroyed. The roar. Everyone who's ever been near a tornado says the same thing. It sounds like a freight train. Some compare it to a jet engine, others to a massive waterfall, but all agree, it's deafening. This roar isn't just wind, it's the sound of debris. Trees snapping, houses ripping apart, cars smashing together, mixed with the furious rush of air. Inside, the noise would be overwhelming, drowning out everything else. Survivors often say the sound was so loud it felt physical, like pressure pounding on their bodies. Imagine being inside the loudest concert of your life, only the sound is destruction itself, the temperature drop. Another strange phenomenon inside tornadoes is the rapid cooling of air. As air is sucked upward into the funnel, it expands and cools, causing condensation. That's why tornadoes look dark and cloudy. The funnel is literally water vapor forming in real time. Some survivors report feeling a sudden chill, even in summer. Scientists believe the temperature difference inside the funnel can make the storm more unstable and help it sustain its rotation. This cooling also creates the dark, menacing look that makes tornadoes so terrifying to watch. The strange physics of survival. Despite all this violence, there are rare stories of people who survive being inside a tornado. In 1931, a woman in Mississippi claimed she was lifted into the air and set down a mile away, unharmed. In 1991, during a Kansas tornado, a man said he felt a brief, eerie calm while inside the funnel, though he was injured by debris afterward. These stories suggest that the very center of a tornado might sometimes have a pocket of slightly lower winds. But don't be fooled. Survival is usually pure luck. For every miracle story, there are thousands of tragedies. The physics of the funnel doesn't allow for safety. It only allows for chance. The dissipation, no tornado lasts forever. They die when their fuel, warm, moist air, is cut off. As the supply dwindles, the vortex weakens, shrinks, and often takes on a rope-like shape before vanishing back into the clouds. But even a dying tornado can be deadly. The last seconds can whip like a snapping whip, lashing across fields or towns. Farmers have described rope tornadoes as whipping tails that still ripped roofs off barns just before fading into nothing. From its violent birth to its sudden end, a tornado's life is a few minutes of chaos that feels like an eternity to those in its path. Why scientists chase the inside? For decades, storm chasers and meteorologists have risked their lives to study tornadoes up close. Using mobile Doppler radars, probes, and drones, they've discovered incredible details about what happens inside. One mobile radar measured winds over 300 miles per hour inside the 1999 Bridge Creek Moore tornado, the strongest winds ever recorded on Earth. Probes dropped in front of funnels have captured data showing how pressure plummets, how debris swirls, and how suction vortices form. By studying the inside, scientists hope to unlock tornado secrets and improve forecasting. Right now, average warning times are about 13 minutes. The goal is to give people half an hour or more to find safety. Each new discovery from inside the funnel isn't just science, it's a chance to save lives. But thanks to the scientists who chase storms, every year we learn more about these monsters. And the more we know, the more lives we can save. The inside of a tornado may always remain the most dangerous place on Earth, but understanding it helps us face the storm, not with fear, but with knowledge.